Okay.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankin. Today we've got a fun one. It's 80's comedies, and I've got a great panel here. With potentially one more joining us at some stage, but we'll find out. But at the moment we've got Garth. Garth, how's it going?
All right. My audio is out of sync. Is it out of sync for anyone else? Or?
But I mean, I don't know, but we've got Brian. Brian, how's it going?
Hello. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on Rankin. Glad to be back. I like 80s movies. I like comedies, so here I
am. And last but not least is we've got a new face to Rankin, but not to the community. But we've got Peggy. Peggy, how's it going?
It's going good. I am excited for my first episode of Rankin. We shall see how it goes. Let's do this.
And how this works is we each go around and nominate a movie that we think belongs on a top 12 list of 80s comedies. And then at the end of the show, we rank them by the voting process. Because we've only got 4 people at the moment, the person who, in the nominating process, the person who nominates their vote won't matter will come down to the other 3. So it's going to be really interesting. It gets really interesting. But yeah. I'm going to go to Peggy first. Peggy, what is the first movie you're going to nominate?
The first movie I'm going to nominate is one I regard as one of my favorites of all time. Probably not the favorite amongst the families, if you will, but I think it's a classic. I'm going to go with The Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club is on the table. Brian, what do you say about The Breakfast Club?
Well, no, it's one of those borderline movies. I really enjoy Breakfast Club, but it's like top 12 of all the 80s comedies. I'm like, personally, I'm going to have to vote no, even though I do really enjoy the movie.
That's okay.
Garth, what do you say about The Breakfast Club?
This wasn't in my top 12, but it's number 16. So let's see. Now, for me, this movie actually hit home because when I saw it, I was getting Saturday detention a lot in high school at the time. So I identified with it. Although they put us to work, they didn't have us sit in the library. They had us cleaning the school. But even though it's not in my top 12, I'll vote yes on it.
Which means it's down to me. I love The Breakfast Club. And I know one person who's not here really doesn't like it. So I'm going to say yes because I think it belongs here. But whether how far it goes on the list, who knows? But Brian, we go to you next.
All right. Can you hear this? Want me to turn it up? Sorry.
I could save some of the big ones just knowing that other people will bring them up, but I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to nominate what I think is not only one of the best comedies of the 80s in all time, but is probably the best romantic comedy of all time, and that is 1989's When Harry Met Sally.
Yes!
I think we know her vote. But yeah, it's just I think it's pretty much a perfect romantic comedy, and so many other movies have been trying to do it ever since, but never as good.
Garth, what do you say about When Harry Met Sally?
This one I'll actually say no to. Peggy's got the yes on it, but we've got 12 to go, and I think there are other ones I'd rather see on the list.
Oh, Breakfast Club over When Harry Met Sally.
I'm pretty sure you're going yes, Peggy.
Yes, this was number 4 on my list of 80s comedies. So yes, I'm absolutely. This is one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. So
yeah, I mean, I love When Harry Met Sally. So it's going to be yes for me. So When Harry Met Sally is going to be on this list.
Love you guys. I love you guys so much.
What is your first nomination?
Me? All right. So I'm going to go with something that, for me personally, I love. I don't know if it'll make it, but I read the book back in '74 when I was a wee lad. And then they announced they were going to make a movie. I thought, they can't make a movie of that. But the writer of the book wrote the script. It made a great movie out of it, and that's The Princess Bride.
Princess Bride is on the table. This is one that I do think is a good movie. I like it. I'm gonna say yes to it. See what the others say. Peggy, what do you say about The Princess Bride?
Now, question: if we get to 12, are we just done, or can we cajole later?
Yeah, we'll give honorable mentions, but we're done with the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That throws a wrench into the equation. It's
That's the only reason I said no to Harry Met Sally.
no, I get it. I get it. It's a classic. I have to say yes to it. It wasn't in my top 12, but I would say yes.
Brian, what would you have said about The Princess Bride?
I was going to tell Peggy I'd make her decision easier because it's a no-brainer for me. Absolutely yes.
All right.
Absolutely yes.
I'm cool with that.
On to me, and I'm going to go to one that I only watched for the first time this year. There is a great Broadway musical which has since been based on this movie. I'm going to go for Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton, while he's granted Batman, his comedic roles is also where he shines a lot as well. And this is one that I don't know why I somehow missed it a lot until now. But it's just one of those ones that just never played on TV a lot, and after I've seen it, I really love it. So I think it deserves to be on this list. Peggy, what do you say about Beetlejuice?
Okay, let me preface this by the fact that I do enjoy the movie Beetlejuice, but when I was a child, it scared me more than it made me laugh. So I'm going to say no.
Brian, what do you say about Beetlejuice?
If you had asked me this back when I was in high school, I would have said absolutely yes. It was like my favorite comedy. But in years since then, I mean, I still enjoy it. But again, I can't put it in the top 12 of all the 80s. So I got to say no.
Gav, what would you have said?
For this one, I really do love it, but I probably would have said no for the top 12 myself. So sorry, Mel.
It's all good.
Absolutely a funny movie, and Michael Keaton great in it, though. So.
Yeah, nobody else could have played that, I don't think, or at least it wouldn't have played out as well.
And one of my favorite photos to share is him as Beetlejuice on the couch next to Heath Ledger as Joker, and the makeup looks very similar.
Yeah. My daughter is waiting anxiously for this to go on tour so she can see the musical in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Which means we go back to Peggy for your next pick.
Okay, so since it's limited space already on this list, I'm going to give you one that I will be very upset with you, gentlemen, if you vote no against. I'm going to go with probably my favorite motion picture film from Eddie Murphy. I'm going to go Coming to America. Do you want me to talk a little bit more, or do you want to just go straight to the vote?
Say whatever you want to say.
Okay, hang on a second. This one is an 80s comedy classic, so much so that they are already shooting the sequel, which I have high hopes for, but a sequel of this late in the game, you never really know what you're going to get. I'm hoping that Eddie approved the script before starting to shoot it, and it's fantastic. And if you've never seen it, I pity you, and I also envy you because you'll be able to see it for the first time.
Brian, what do you say about Coming to America?
Peggy's going to be so mad at me.
It's okay.
No. Coming to America is kind of where Breakfast Club is for me, where I really do enjoy this movie. It's not one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies, although out of the 80s ones, it might be one of my favorite of his. But I don't love it as much as a lot of other people do, although I do think it's really funny, but I got to give it a no for this list.
Yeah.
Garth, what do you say about Coming to America?
Well, this one's unique because I have Eddie Murphy movies, but I have others higher. So I'm gonna say no to Coming America because I would like some Eddie Murphy on this list, but I think there are others I'd prefer.
Okay.
She's quietly seething now. Okay.
Hey, as long as he shows up in the movie I'm thinking you're thinking of, that's a good consolation prize for me, and I'll be okay with it.
But yeah, we do have our fifth panelist here, and Ryan.
Help me out, Ryan. Come on.
It could still happen. Malcolm hasn't voted yet.
Ryan, what do you say about Coming to America?
Is that supposed to be a rhetorical question? It's a yes.
and this is a case. Peggy's going to be glad Ryan came on when he did, because I also was going to say yes to Coming to America because I love this movie.
And I have no problem with it making the list. So there you go.
It's all right. I'll throw you guys a vote at some point.
All right.
I didn't get no notification.
We're already at 4.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. So the other three movies that's on this list is The Breakfast Club, When Harry Met Sally, and The Princess Bride. And just because, and before I go to Brian for his next one, I'm going to actually give Brian a chance to get his first pick in here. So, do you have a pick?
Well, my list is thrown around somewhere, but you know what? Off the top of my head, of course, one movie I was going to recommend, maybe have a long shot, was actually the Tim Burton comedy Beetlejuice.
Because it's been nominated.
Yeah, that's come up and shot
So you get
down.
another pick.
Yeah.
This is what happens. This is what happens when I'm actually running errands. Okay, another pick. Well, I'll grab my list once I nominate. Actually, I rewatched this about a couple weeks ago, and I was amazed at how this movie still holds up, at least in my mind. And at the same time, this movie, look, I'll just say it's Back to the Future I'm nominating, if that has not been nominated yet.
No.
Yep.
So Back to the Future is on the table. So.
Back to the Future, because especially if people know of the behind the scenes stuff, how originally Michael J. Fox was not cast at first, so when they had Eric Stoltz there, the movie came off completely different when they had him, but when they put Michael J. Fox in, and then you see Michael J. Fox's just natural charisma, his natural talent just come off the screen, and his back and forth with Christopher Lloyd, no matter which time period he's in, it's fantastic. And it's one of my favorite fish out of water stories, where you get generations and cultures clashing, and at the same time, you still have a very solid story moving forward.
All right, so Back to the Future is on the table. Peggy, what do you say about Back to the Future?
Well, I'm going to preface that Back to the Future is one of the most iconic type of movies of all time out of the 80s. I just think pound for pound, I didn't laugh out loud as much to Back to the Future as I did to other movies in the 80s. So I'm going to give it a no, actually.
Brian, what do you say about Back to the Future?
I agree with many filmmakers and other articles that have been written about this movie that it is basically a perfect movie. It is my number one pick was Back to the Future, so I will absolutely vote yes.
Garth, what do you say about Back to the Future?
I will admit that it wasn't in my top 12, but it's one of those that I really do love, and as Brian says, it is very well put together. There's very few bad things to say about it. So I'll vote yes for it.
Yep. And yeah, Back to the Future does make this. I actually also probably would have said no. I actually rewatched it just recently, and while I do like the movie, it's one that I personally, the comedy doesn't come off as much as it used to. So yeah, but it's on. It makes this list, and that's all good. But we're going to go to Brian.
I think what I should go for next. I'll go for something a little bit different. Let's go to the subgenre of mockumentary comedies, and of course, the king of them all. This is Spinal Tap. not only is it really actually good music and stuff in its own right, but it started basically a whole genre. I mean, I know it wasn't the first one, but it was the first major one that's kind of stood in the cultural lexicon. It's so ultimately quotable. Everyone remembers this movie. I love it. This is Spinal Tap.
Garth, what do you say about This Is Spinal Tap?
Definitely yes. This was at near the top of my list.
But I'm going to turn my hot take meter all the way to 11, and I'm actually going to say no. I'm not a big fan of This Is Spinal Tap. But Ryan, what do you say about This Is Spinal Tap?
Well, I'm sorry, but when it comes with 80s comedies or in general, this was my top 5 I put on my list. So this is a yes. I mean, even when I rewatched it with buddies of theater troupe pals or with roommates, there's at least a joke in there for somebody. And at the same time, as someone who's taken theater set design classes, that scene of the mini archway at the mini Stonehenge is still hilarious. So that joke just hits me in so many different levels. So it's a yes.
But This Is Spinal Tap does make this list.
I have a question. Out of our 6, do we have 3 Rob Reiner movies?
He had a good run in the 80s.
When Harry Met Sally,
He had a damn good run in the 80s.
I just grabbed the notepad, so I'm just gonna need to get those movies down again.
Yep, that's right. I'll re-put the first 3 in here, so it's in the private chat for you.
No problem.
Yeah, sorry.
But with that, we do go to Garth while I do this. So, Garth, what did you
It's good because I've never seen Spinal Tap. I really had nothing to contribute.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
This is Spinal Tap. Excuse me.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna probably lose a turn saying this, but I just want. I don't know. Maybe I'll save it for honorable mentions. Because there's some I want to get on this list. This is rough because we're already halfway through.
Right?
Yep.
And so some of the ones I wanted to just bring up, knowing they'd get shot down, I'm wasting a turn if I do that. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go with A Fish Called Wanda.
A Fish Called Wanda is on the table. I like this movie. I think it's great. I'm going to say yes. Ryan, what do you say about A Fish Called Wanda?
Absolutely yes. I mean, Monty Python had kind of petered out, except for I think Meaning of Life was in the '80s, but obviously the Monty Python guys are great. Kevin Kline won an Oscar for a reason. It's just a great movie through and through.
I mean, I did say Ryan.
Oh, you said Ryan? I'm sorry, I can't tell. I apologize.
No, it's okay, Brian. That's one reason when I saw that who's on the panel. That's why I made sure my tag name was different.
I apologize. Go ahead, Ryan.
Honestly, it's kind of good you give it yes because I was gonna have to abstain from this. I haven't seen this movie in years, and when I first saw it, I didn't really see it as a comedy except for a few moments with Kevin Kline. So it wasn't that strong of an impression on my mind.
But Peggy, what do you say about A Fish Called Wanda?
So is that an abstination or whatever from Ryan?
Yeah, I'm abstaining.
Yeah.
I'm abstaining.
Okay, so we got 2 votes for yes, 1 abstain. Let me preface that I adore Kevin Kline. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. But pound for pound, we're getting narrow on this one. I got to vote no. Just throw a wrench into the equation and put it on Malcolm's hands.
But yeah, I love A Fish Called Wanda. It's a yes.
Nice.
But it's on to me. And I'm going to go for this one. I already know what one person on this panel is going to say. I'm bringing up Clue. I think Clue is a great parody movie. And yeah, it's fun and all the acting, like Tim Curry, Martin Moore, is all great in this. Ryan, what do you say about Clue?
Well, oh my god, oh shit. I love Clue as well, and yeah, but yeah, since I'm here, you know what, I'm gonna have to be the, that rock in the road. I'm unfortunately gonna have to give it a no. I mean, I love that movie so much. I've seen so many different Broadway and theater play versions of that. I've performed one myself, but I was just looking at the movies. I mean, 80s have so many comedies. I'm just gonna have to say no on this one.
Peggy, what do you say about Clue?
It's a good movie. It's a funny movie. I did the fact that they didn't really tell people that there were 3 different endings, that the people kind of figured that out on their own back in the day. It's just such limited space right now. I got to give it a no and leave it in the hands of Garth and Brian.
Brian, why is Murder by Death better?
I wasn't going to bring that up. You brought that up. So I won't go into that. I will say Clue assembled a great cast. I just didn't think it was a good movie. So I will vote no, and that's all I have to say on the subject.
That's all I've got to say about that.
And Garth, what would you have said about Clue?
I would vote no for Clue for the top 12 myself.
That's why it's tough, Christina.
I agree, Christina. I agree, it's a national treasure.
That's why it's tough.
It's just
only
already
picked 12.
There's 7 on here already.
But Ryan, what?
Actually, I shouldn't say that since I was so late here. I shouldn't say, "Oh, it's so close," because I'm already being hailed.
It's all good. I'm going to go to Ryan next, and then that way it sets the order back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back up.
Okay, I'll just be quick with the movie I nominate, and it's very simple. It started just like with this is Spinal Tap. It also started a genre of films, good or bad, hit or miss, and that's the first Airplane, 1980. I mean, that movie is quotable. It's given us so many great moments to look back on, and let's not forget. I mean, for Christ's sake, Leslie Nielsen went from a very serious, dramatic actor. He plays it dry throughout the movie, which gives him a revitalization of his career, which leads to another movie I hope to nominate on this list if we have space. So Airplane is the movie I'm nominating. And also, come on, we could quote almost a lot. Like the woman, I forget, the Leave It to Beaver's mom speaking jive. Everyone being in a row to slap that woman on the plane.
Florence Henderson.
Yes, Florence Henderson, of course. Yes. But I'm going to stop here.
I thought Florence Henderson was Brady Bunch. Oh.
Is it? My bad.
Oh, what did I say?
Whoever it is.
It wasn't Florence Henderson, was it?
Chat, come on. Help us out.
Yeah, Florence Henderson.
It was Barbara Billingsley. Yeah.
Chat room, help us out. Who was it?
Peggy, what do you say about Airplane?
This was number 7 on my list, so it's an absolute yes for me. And it, like you said, it was my first real kind of slapstick comedy that I was exposed to. And yeah, I love the movie. It never gets old for me. It's a yes.
Brian, what do you say about Airplane?
I like Airplane. I don't love it. I do think, obviously it kind of created the whole genre, which unfortunately was destroyed in the decade since then by being done badly many times. There have been a few good ones, but that kind of parody thing. I am going to have to vote no on this, though. This is another one of those that I enjoy, but it's not. I don't love it as much as a lot of people, and I can't give it top 12.
Garth, what do you say about Airplane?
Yeah, I love a lot of it. It is very quotable, makes great memes. But for the top 12, I'm going to vote no myself.
Which means it's on me again.
We like making you decide.
I have to say yes. I love Airplane. I rewatched it this year, and I laughed just as much as I did every other time I've watched it. It belongs on this list, which means we've got 8 on this list.
Jesus.
It's gonna be tough getting the last 4 in.
I mean, this is going to be in running for the shortest episode with 5 people. That's for
We're
sure.
all so agreeable.
I can go for an hour with honorable mentions though.
Yeah, I have a feeling the last 4 are going to take a while.
But Peggy, what is your next nomination?
Okay, so Airplane made it. I'm gonna have to go with the one that's the highest on my list that has yet been mentioned yet. This one is a classic. I watch it every single year. It is funny from beginning to end, and in my opinion, it is the second best Christmas movie out there. I'm going with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It was made in the 80s, so it counts.
That was. Brian, what do you say about Christmas Vacation?
This is on my list. I'm just trying to decide because, like, with so few spots left, I have to decide which ones are worth fighting for. I can't deny how funny that movie is, though. You have to watch it every single year. I'm gonna have to give it a yes, even with the limited spots.
Garth, what do you say about Christmas Vacation?
I love the vacation movies, but this one actually I'm not a fan of. I know that's weird. A lot of people, this is their favorite of the vacation movie. But I'm going to vote no on this.
This is tough because, depending on when you ask me, I tend to flip-flop between Christmas Vacation and the original Vacation quite very quickly. But for now, I'm going to say yes to Christmas Vacation because I do love it. Ryan, what do you say about Christmas Vacation?
So what's the vote? Oh, it's already on.
Yeah, it's already on.
Yeah, I would if it had gone to me before you, Malcolm, I would have broken a lot of people's hearts. I would have abstained because surprisingly, this is the one vacation movie I have not seen yet. I've seen European, I've seen the regular Vacation, but Christmas is the one I have not seen.
But that means you still have the joy of watching it for the first time ahead of you.
Yeah.
If you have not seen this one, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for me, the one that I'm not too sure if I've seen or not is European Vacation. That's the one I think I've still got to see. But Brian, what is your next nomination?
There's smaller ones I would like to nominate, but I got to make sure some of them get on the list. And my next one's going to be, again, one of my favorite comedies of all time, if not the 80s, and that's this one here, Ghostbusters. The original Ghostbusters is still one of the funniest movies of all time. Again, something that's eminently quotable. I can watch it every year. Every time they put it back in theaters, practically almost every year now, I go see it again. The second one was all right. There was no remake. There was no reboot. But the original, one of the best of all time.
Garth, what do you say about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, this was definitely on my list. This is definitely a yes for me. And the reboot has one redeeming quality. I'm in it as an extra. Film scenes at a nightclub in Boston, so I'm like going, yeah, there's nothing in the air. But yeah, the original Ghostbusters still a brilliant film. And even though the effects may seem dated, it was way back then. So, but overall, it's a brilliant film. Deserves to be on the list.
Can you imagine the riots if Ghostbusters doesn't make this list? But I'm going to say yes to this because Ghostbusters is a great movie. And I know even if I did say no to it, some of our bound to probably say yes to it. But it's making this list. Ryan, what you have said about Ghostbusters?
Oh, Malcolm, I would have lit the fire to this ride. I would have said no. Because Ghostbusters, to be honest, this movie just never clicked with me. The first time I watched it, there's moments I liked, but Bill Murray in that movie just never hit well with me. I didn't know about it. There's something about his character I didn't like. The only ones I liked was Zelensky and Winston. And then, of course, the unreasonable hatred for Winston's character. Like, oh, don't be the Winston. Don't be the Winston. Like, what the hell does that mean? What the hell is that supposed to mean? I've argued in so many chat boards that Winston is probably one of the underrated, overlooked characters in that movie because he's a regular guy, knows nothing about this crap, and yet he's willing to walk in and fight ghosts just to get paid. I'm like, don't put your minds, people. So personal bias aside, I still would have said no because there's 7 more I probably want to try to get on here.
Peggy, what would you have said about Ghostbusters?
Okay, first of all, Ryan, how dare you disrespect the name of Peter Venkman? I love Ghostbusters. I still would have voted no. I know it's already on. I would have voted no. It's fantastic, but it's not my top 12. Didn't even make my top 30 of the 80s. So, but hey, I respect the fact that it's on there because it is a brilliant movie and it's iconic. It's classic. So I have no issues. I have no issues with it being on the list.
I know you love Bill Murray, so you surprised me.
I do love Bill Murray.
This is not one of my favorite Bill Murray performances.
But anyway, Garth, what is your next nomination?
All right, so we're down to 2. So no more me throwing out the small fish just to mention them. They're going to be honorable mentions now. So I got to go for what I think I can get on the list. So I'm going to go with the Blues Brothers. Came out the same year as Empire Strikes Back and cost about the same or more because of all the car stunts.
Blues Brothers is on the table. I'm going to give this a slight no. I like the movie. I just don't think it is top 12. Ryan, what do you say about Blues Brothers?
Oh my God, I'm so conflicted right now. I'm so conflicted. I love all the musical bits in this movie. I love the appearances: Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, even the cameos from John Candy to Carrie Fisher. And it's just so straight. It's a deadpan straight. It's like the straight man's movie when it comes to comedy. Oh God, damn it! You know what's good? Yes, I'm saying yes to the Blues Brothers.
Peggy,
I'm gonna lose my card as a Chicagoan. All right. Blues Brothers is a classic. I'm gonna have to say no to it being on this list. There's 2 spots left. There's so many more movies out there that I'd rather see on this list. So I'm gonna give it a no.
which means Brian, it's on you.
Peggy needs to move out of Chicago. It's on my list. It's like not. It wasn't in my my top 5 or 6, but 1 spot left. I'm gonna say yes. I enjoy it. I think it belongs on there.
It makes the list, and how could we deny it on its 40th anniversary today?
There you go.
But the Blues Brothers makes this list. Which is
So there's 1 spot left, right?
Yeah.
There is 1
Alright.
spot left.
This is gonna get interesting, boys.
We're 33 minutes in. We're down to 1 spot.
Yeah. Now we're really going to separate ourselves.
No, everyone shoots down everyone else's, and we never finish this.
I've been on playing those lists with Malcolm. We've gone like 40, 30 minutes before something even made it to number 1.
But yeah, I know Chris wants a certain parody movie brought up. I'm not going to bring that movie up because I think this is a great movie. I don't know how big it is, but all I have to do is say 1 quote, and you know what I'm talking about. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Crocodile Dundee, I think, is a great movie, and I'm not saying that because I'm close to Australia, but I love. I love this movie, and I think it's really funny. Like, Paul Hogan as Mick Dundee is just great. Ryan, what do you say about Crocodile Dundee?
I'm sorry, brother, but I'm gonna have to say no on this one. I mean, Crocodile Dundee is great. Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta be cutthroat at this one. I gotta be bloodthirsty. I'm gonna have to say no.
It's all good. Peggy.
I happen to prefer the sequel where he goes back to Australia. That's the sequel, right?
Yeah, that's the sequel.
Yeah, I like the sequel better than the first one. So just based on that fact, I'm gonna have to say no too.
Brian.
This is a movie I enjoyed. I don't think it's. I don't want to say it's not aged well. Just I haven't. When I rewatched it in recent years, I haven't enjoyed it as much as I did when I was a kid. So I'm gonna have to vote no on it.
And Garth, what would you have said?
Sorry, mate. It's a no for me.
I mean, it's all good. It's why I brought it up. It's like I know at this point it's always cutthroat anyway. But Ryan, what do you want to bring up next?
Well, I know we all trying to be cutthroat here, and the movies we have is fantastic. But there's one iconic comedy figure we need to get his movie on. I'm nominating his movie, and if we all have to say no, I can live with that because at least I tried to nominate it. And it's one, and I'm just gonna say one thing. What's the matter, Sanders? Chicken. Spaceballs, guys. I'm nominating Spaceballs because even though it's World War II, it's a great 80s comedy. And yeah, I'm gonna have to be that asshole. I mean, if I and you guys can shoot me down. I will not hold it against you. I couldn't live with this being an honorable mention. I could not.
Peggy, what do you say about Spaceballs?
I would say this puts me in a tough position, but then I realized I can vote whatever I want and put y'all in a tough position. I love Spaceballs. It's not the one I want to be the last one on the list, but I can't very well in good conscience vote against it, so my vote is yes.
Brian, what do you say about Spaceballs?
Assuming it goes to more picks, I'm going to save you all some time and give you a preemptive no to anything Mel Brooks. So, no.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah.
I do love Spaceballs. However, we're down to the last one, and I think there are ones more deserving than Spaceballs, so I'll vote no.
And with I believe it's 3 no's or yeah.
No, two
It's
no.
tied. It's 2-2.
Two
Not
no's.
you, Malcolm.
vote?
It's 2-2, Malcolm.
Yeah, that's what I was. Ricky, I wasn't sure, but anyway, it's on me, and I'm going to surprise everyone by saying no to Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs. I just think there's other ones that should be on here, and we've already got a parody movie on here, so Peggy, what's your next nomination?
Let's see everyone shoot this one down. One of my favorite sports movies of all time. To me, it's a classic. It played all the time in my house. I'm going to have to go with the baseball classic Major League. Have fun, gentlemen.
Brian, what do you say about Major League?
Me?
Brian.
Oh,
She's making this one difficult. I won't mind if it makes the list, but I'm going to say no and make you guys make that decision.
Garth, what do you say about Major League?
I do like the movie. Wild Thing, very, very great movie. I'm going to say no myself as well. It's down to you two.
I actually abstain. I've never seen Major League, which means it's not going to make the list anyway. Why would you have said?
This would have been a hell yes for me. I watched the movie during my childhood, and I was big into baseball at that time. I reenacted scenes from this movie, mainly the baseball scenes, and my dad personally owned this on VHS. So not only would I have been insulting my childhood, I would have been insulting my dad. So damn it, that would have been a yes.
Did you say mainly the baseball scene? Isn't that all of them?
Not all of them. Not the bar fight. Not
Okay, I got you.
But anyway, Brian, what is your next nomination?
Oh, what can I get shot down next? I'm just happy I'm on a panel that shot down Clue and Mel Brooks movies, so I'm in a good place. I already consider this a victory. I have a lot of stuff that's definitely going to get shot down. I don't know. All right, what do we got on here?
Me too, buddy. Hang in there.
All right, this is a long shot, especially because I don't really know how this panel feels about this movie, but I think one of the funniest musicals of all time, but it is a comedy, Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, Rick Moranis and the whole cast, it's one of the funniest musicals. I'm sure it's going to get shut down, but I had to at least make an attempt.
Garth, what do you say about Little Shop of Horrors?
Great movie, wonderful. I'm a person who hates 99% of musicals, but this is one of the ones I like. However, I actually prefer the original. The movie was turned into a musical, then they made this movie based on the musical. So I'm going to say no and leave it up to the other three because I think it might actually make it. We'll see.
I love Little Shop of Horrors, and I think if I say no to it, Chris Clark's going to come after me. But and also, I mean, I love this. I'm going to say yes to Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, it's one that I do like the original as well, but this is great. Ryan, what do you say about Little Shop of Horrors?
Oh, I'm not afraid to hurt someone's feelings with this movie. No, I'm kidding. I mean, my answer's still a no because we are getting close, and this is like the last spot. There is no.
I feel like I should have brought this up earlier. Would have had a better chance when there wasn't one spot left.
Yeah, there's no place on earth I haven't gone to where I have heard people sing variations of. I forgot the song, but Seymour's Your Guy or the Audrey 2 song. Yeah. That song and then the Audrey 2 song as well. So, but it's going to be a no in this situation.
Peggy, what do you say about Little Shop of Horrors?
Nope. Sorry. I saw it once back in the 80s. I was unimpressed, honestly. So it's got to be a no for me. Sorry, Brian.
Funny note about Chris Evans in the reboot is his dad's a dentist, so that's why he wanted to be the dentist.
But anyway, Garth, it's on to you.
All right. Once again, I've got a lot in my top 12 that I haven't brought up that I think is going to get shut down immediately. So I'm trying. I'm going to try.
That's all we can do.
So no, I don't think. I'm going with popular. I'm going to go Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John Candy and Steve Martin.
This is one that I actually watched for the very first time, just in preparation for this list the other day. I like this, but I'm gonna say no. Ryan, what do you say about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I'm double checking to see if we have a good John Candy movie on here. And, oh my God, it's clear. Oh, we don't.
He appears in Blues Brothers, but that's about it.
I know it's a cameo, but I mean him as a lead actor because he has a lot of good comedies in the 80s. Oh,
he did. Spinal Tap and Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I know.
But that's it.
Yeah, I don't know where everyone else is gonna be, so you know what? I'm just gonna say yes. I don't know where everyone else will be, but I'm gonna say yes to this movie because I love the third act. The third act is fantastic. It breaks my heart every time.
Peggy, what do you say about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I understand that a lot of people love this movie, and I do as well, but it doesn't even rate my top 10 John Hughes movies, so I'm going to have to give it a no. Sorry, guys.
Brian, what do you say about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I actually agree with Peggy. I think it's a funny movie, but I think even just among John Hughes movies, there are much funnier ones. So I'm gonna have to vote no.
Garth, you brought it up. I'm so pleased it doesn't make the list. I'm going to bring up one that I'm surprised it's taken this long to get to it, because I was sure that at least one person was going to bring it up, considering they've got a team's name named after it. It's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is a great comedy, and I think it really does deserve to be on this list. And Keanu Reeves and Alex would have a great repertoire. I don't know if that's the correct word, but whatever. But,
Repertoire, you mean? Yeah.
that's what I meant. It's just so great. Ryan, what to say about Bill and Ted's?
I'm mulling it over. I wish I can abstain because I didn't want to make the choice, but I have seen this movie, so I can't abstain.
I mean, if you want, I can go to Peggy.
No, I have to make this decision. I have to. I'm sorry, but I can't be excellent today. It's a no.
Peggy.
I understand that people love the saga, if you will, of Bill and Ted. I personally have never really understood the love for it. Not really my cup of tea of a movie, if you will. So I'm gonna have to give it a no as well.
Brian.
I think everybody just assumes it's a shoo-in for me. It's really not. It was when I was brainstorming my list. It's definitely was on the list that I made, but I didn't have it in my top 12, and especially the one spot left, I would not give it to Bill and Ted. Honestly, no.
I mean, I didn't think it was a shoe, and I just surprised it took so long to get to it. It's more of the Garth.
This was on my list, but it was down at number 20. I do love it, but it's a no from me as well.
And that's just bogus, but that's all. Brian, what is your next nomination?
Okay, this one might just be an easy no for everybody, but I'm just gonna nominate it anyway because this movie is made released in 1988. It's called "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," and yeah, my dad also owned a VHS copy of this movie, and there was a time when he had when I would used to watch VHS like taped episodes of In Living Color, so I was big on Keenan Ivory Wayans, and at the same time, I would always watch this movie and A Low Down Dirty Shame back and back. So just for not just nostalgia, but because there are it makes fun of black exploitation movies. So yeah, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
I'm gonna get you, suckers on the table. Peggy, what do you say?
Let me get one order ribs. No, one rib. One rib. I sure am hungry. You got change for 100? Sorry. I love this movie. I said close the door. I can quote this movie from beginning to end. You want to know? I'm gonna give it a yes and let y'all deal with it.
Brian, what do you say about I'm gonna get you, sucker?
I didn't even think about this one making this list, but damn, I love that movie.
It was in the top 30.
Yeah, I remember back, when it came out and I first saw it, I was like, I had to I actually started working in video stores shortly thereafter. I started making everybody else watch it because nobody else ever heard of this movie.
Master Lee was your kung fu teacher?
We don't really have anything like it on here, and it kind of needs something different. But you know what? Hell with it. Say yes. We need something different on here. I say yes.
It makes the list.
Didn't
Yeah.
Peggy say it?
I said yes to let y'all deal with it. It made the list,
Yeah,
buddy.
that's 3 yeses.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you said yes, I'll let you deal with it, or no, I'll let you deal with it.
No,
But
I said yes.
But Garth, what would you have said?
I might have said no, but it's on the list, so it's moot.
Watch the polls. They're gonna go. What the hell is
love
this
the movie,
movie?
though.
I'm gonna get you sucker.
Well, they should all go look for it and watch it then.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, this is one that I'm kind of glad I didn't have to be a case of I hadn't seen it for it to not make this list. But because I haven't seen this, this is one that I tried to find for this, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. So,
Search
but,
below on YouTube, even if you just watch some clips of it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't have a VHS converter anymore, so
Well, it's one of the ones on YouTube that you can pay like $3 or $4 for.
okay. That is a movie worth paying for. Honestly, it is.
also, as Christina's pointed out, apparently Peggy's frozen, but we can still hear her.
Yeah.
And then,
Wait, now she's doing something.
What we can do now?
But
well, I mean, it was funny because then Effie made this comment. You sound animated, but look very calm.
Story of my life, Anthony. Story of my life.
But anyway, we have closed out this list, and the 12 we have to rank now is we've got The Breakfast Club, When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, Coming to America, Back to the Future, This is Spinal Tap, A Fish Called Wanda, Airplane, Christmas Vacation, Ghostbusters, and Blues Brothers. But before we get that, we're going to get into honorable mentions, and I'm going to go first on this one. There's a lot of great 80s comedies I realised when making this list. But some other ones that I've got on my list that probably wouldn't have made it. I had History of the World Part 1 on there. I had The Original Vacation. I had Police Academy. I had Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But I'm not going to rattle off a lot because I know other people probably had them. Did you have any honorable mentions, Ryan?
I had a couple. When I got in late and I thought you guys were just getting started, I was going to nominate the original Police Squad, the Naked Gun Files from the Police Squad. I also had Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, even though you can argue it's not much of a comedy. And I've also had Uncle Buck and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Peggy, did you have any honorable mentions?
Well, let's see. If we went just based on my list, the ones of the top 12 that didn't make it would be, again, what he said, Trading Places, The Goonies, Better Off Dead, Steel Magnolias, Roxanne, and Real Genius would be my honorable mentions.
Brian, what honorable mentions did you have?
Just a few more I would have thrown out there if we got down to it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Heather's Raising Arizona, I still think is the best Coen Brothers movie. Throw Mama from the Train, Strange Brew, and A Christmas Story.
And Garth, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, one that he mentioned. So I'm bummed I didn't bring it up sooner. I actually was going to start off going, it's two guys from a late night weekend sketch show playing brothers, and it's Strange Brew. Brilliant adaptation of Hamlet. So I wish I brought it up just to hear Brian say yes for it. And like 5 out of my 12 made the list. That was one of the ones that I didn't even bring up. Lonely Guy with Steve Martin.
Yes.
I identify with it so much. Time Bandits, fun movie. With like Sean Connery and John Cleese and a bunch of people.
Ian Holm.
And yeah, exactly. And Big with Tom Hanks. Not strictly comedy, maybe, but mostly. Then one of my off the wall choices that I was going to throw out there and knew was going to say no is Flash Gordon. It's a space opera, but it's got a lot of comedic.
Movie list.
And then Trading Places, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the remake, with Steve Martin, Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Better Off Dead with John Cusack. Beverly Hills Cop. Risky Business and Caddyshack. And then more after that.
But yeah, like as I said, there was a lot of good ones in the 80s, and it's one of those decades which when I knew that like when I've been doing these comedies, like I knew it's like eventually we're going to get to the 80s, and it's going to be a hard, either really hard or really easy. But now we get to the fun part of ranking them. So everyone's going to write down on their whiteboard or a bit of paper what movie they want to be.
Just to show you, these are the leftovers after my top 20. I crossed out.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't know.
But yeah, Ryan, what do you have for 12?
Oh, I didn't even write it down yet, but well, mainly because I have not seen it. It was my pick for number 12. Actually, wait, yeah, Christmas Vacation was gonna be my pick because I hadn't seen it yet.
Peggy, what do you have for 12?
I went with the Blues Brothers.
Brian,
Airplane.
Garth,
Airplane.
I went with This Is Spinal Tap, but Airplane is going to be number 12.
Hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta.
Where it is.
Suspense.
I might as well just hold off on Christmas Vacation because I have a feeling it might be higher.
I mean, it's one of those ones that,
Yeah.
So I'll get to Peggy when she gets back. But Brian, what do you have for 11?
I'm sure it won't get voted off because people like it more than I do. Coming to America.
Garth, what do you have for 11?
I didn't even write it down yet. I'll go with Christmas Vacation.
I've still got This Is Spinal Tap. Ryan?
Damn it, I shouldn't have changed my vote. I wrote Harry Met Sally.
Peggy, what do you have for 11?
Sorry. Let me look through this list.
All good.
For 11, I'm gonna say A Fish Called Wanda.
Which means we've got a 5-way tie. Chat. We've got
Somebody in the chat say Coming to America. Go.
We've got Coming to America, Airplane, Harry Met Sally, This Is Spinal Tap, and
Fish Called Wanda.
And Fish Called Wanda. The first comment I sort of see will be the deciding vote.
Oh wow, that's pressure.
And
Oh no!
Wow,
No!
Tony!
You got beat.
Tony.
JTH.
Spirit
Wow.
That's not on the list. That doesn't count.
No, Tony, I want you in a trivia match. Damn you!
I was about to say
Shame.
JTH got
Thank
in
you,
first.
Christina. Thank you.
No, thank you, Christina.
Harry Met Sally is going to be 11.
That's some bullshit.
Oh,
That should be
yeah?
like number 2. Ugh.
Yeah, we'll do this like West Side Story, Tony. Me and you.
You've just made the whole list moot by waiting too long. Jeez.
Okay, so what was 12? What was ended up being 12?
12 was Airplane.
Airplane.
Okay.
But I mean, I will say out of the votes that sort of came through, we actually did, like Christina also said Harry Met Sally as well. So
Used to like you, Christina.
Brian, what do you have for 10?
Sacrilege, darling.
I'll keep voting this. Coming to America.
Garth, what do you have for 10?
Christmas Vacation.
I put Spinal Tap. Ryan.
We may have another tie again, Garth. I should be joining you at this point. I just wrote A Fish Called Wanda.
Peggy.
Oh.
Peggy?
Oh, she's frozen.
I went back to the Blues Brothers.
Another tie.
Tony, it's Coming to America. Hit enter now. Go.
So we got Coming to America, Blues Brothers, Spinal Tap, Christmas Vacation, Fish Called Wanda, and I think that's all the 5 I said.
Oh, God.
And Stardrew says Fish Called Wanda, so Stardrew was the first one in this time. So Fish Called Wanda is going to be 10. And we go on to 9.
And people in the chat, pre-type your answers.
But only if they agree with me.
But Garth, what do you have for 9?
I'm sticking with it. Christmas Vacation.
I'm sticking with Spinal Tap. Ryan.
I was so like molasses, Garth, but I'm with you now. Christmas Vacation.
Peggy.
Again, stuck with the Blues Brothers.
Brian.
Coming to America.
All right.
Christmas, no need for the chat today.
It might come back later.
No, it's right.
Okay.
But we go on. But we're on to 8. And I'm sticking with Spinal Tap. Ryan.
Who am I going to call? Someone else. Ghostbusters.
Peggy.
Sticking with my Blues Brothers.
Brian.
Stick with Coming to America.
Garth.
Mine's Moot. Because it's Super Blues Brothers.
Oh.
So Blues Brothers is going to be 8.
What was 9? I missed that. I'm sorry.
This was Vacation.
Okay.
It's on the screen.
I've been going back and forth on what to put on next. The screen's the least of our worry.
It's all right. Right, we're on to 7. And Ryan, what do you have for 7?
Well, it wasn't on the list. I didn't answer the call. Ghostbusters.
Peggy.
I moved to This Is Spinal Tap.
Brian.
You know, I would change my vote if anybody was even got any of my my next 3 ones I was going to vote for, but they don't. So Coming to America.
Garth.
I'm going to get you, sucker.
But This Is Spinal Tap. It's going to be 7.
Oh, This Is Spinal Tap.
All right. Can you give me a reminder of what all is left for the top 6?
Yep. So for the top 6, we've got The Breakfast Club, The Princess Bride, Coming to America, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and I'm going to get you, sucker.
Yep. Okay.
All right, Peggy, what do you have for 6?
I hate to do this because I love it, but I'm going to get you, sucker.
Brian.
I kind of want to switch to Breakfast Club because it doesn't belong to the top 5, but I'm sticking with Coming to America.
Garth.
I'm going to get you, sucker.
I've got Coming to America. Ryan.
I wrote Ghostbusters, and goddamn you all! Goddamn you all!
No, Ryan gets to break the tie, though. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
because,
to break the tie.
and I think it's a case of he doesn't want to.
You put me in a rock and a hard place.
This is like Sophie's choice for Ryan right now.
You nominated, I'm going to get you, sucker. Come on. Come on. You nominated.
Yeah, exactly. It's Sophie's choice. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Yeah, Ryan, it was the right move. It was the right move. It's okay. I'm with you, buddy.
I will say I'm surprised it got that high. I'm just happy, but
I can live with the fact it's on the list. I can live with the fact it's on the list.
I mean, the only reason I didn't vote for it earlier is because just I haven't seen it. I've made a decision not to vote for movies I've not seen unless I really have to.
Yeah.
But Brian, what do you have for 5?
We have like 10 rounds here.
With Brian this time.
Coming to America, Brian.
Wow. Needless to say, I don't think Ryan approved of that choice.
Piggy, what do you?
I wrote Ghostbusters.
Well, it was a hard choice from last time.
Too. Oh. Damn it.
I got to change my board.
Okay, I need to calm down. Oh, this hurts.
Just to recap, we've got Ghostbusters, Breakfast Club, The Princess Bride, and Back to the Future left.
It's so obvious. Come on.
Brian, what do you have for 4?
Me? Breakfast Club.
Garth.
The Breakfast Club.
I've got Ghostbusters. Ryan.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts, so I don't need them.
Peggy.
Bye, Ghostbusters.
God, Breakfast Club is not this good, people. Good God.
Probably one of the many times that Brian and Kirk agree on something.
I think I actually enjoy the movie. It's just not top 3 comedies of the 80s.
You could go higher, Brian.
Spoiler, my vote stays the same.
Yeah, my vote stays the same.
Peggy, what do you have for 3?
Back to the Future. Sorry, Christina.
Dumb.
Ryan.
Wait, me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian already voted.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
And Breakfast Club.
Now we writing our number 1 pick or the one we want for 2?
Our number ones, I believe, right?
Number 1.
We're writing what we
The
want
other
for
one
number 1.
automatically.
Okay.
Wow, this is so not the right order.
Okay, so hold on, what's left?
Right now, it's
So it's between Princess Bride and Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So for number 1, what do you have, Garth?
Princess Bride.
I've got Princess Bride. Ryan.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Peggy.
Is it going to be a clean sweep?
No, it's not.
Ah!
I love Princess Bride, though. I have no problem with it.
Yeah. Coming to America is always my number 1, but the fact it wasn't there, I couldn't vote for it.
I'm glad my number 1 is number 1.
When I do these shows, it's basically like I'm just kind of happy with the list. I'm actually happy with the top 12 list for the most part. And the actual ranking, I never get what I want, so I just ignore that part.
That's true. Okay.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think anyone really gets what they want with the way they get ranked.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is one that I mean, it could be any 12 80s comedies that I'll be happy with what's on the list. There's definitely a few that I probably would have put higher, to be honest. But here, our top 12 80s comedies, at number 12, we've got Airplane. Should be higher. At 11, we've got When Harry Met Sally. Should be higher. At 10, we've got A Fish Called Wanda.
Should be lower.
At 9, we've got Christmas Vacation.
Should be higher.
At 8, we've got Blues Brothers.
Should be lower.
Should be higher.
At 7, we've got This Is Bottle Tap. At 6, we've got I'm gonna Get You Sucker.
I'm okay with that.
Happy where it is. Happy where it is.
At 5,
It needs more recognition.
Higher.
At 4, we got Ghostbusters. At 3, we got The Breakfast Club. At 2, at 2, we got Back to the Future. And at number 1, we got The Princess Bride.
Should be higher.
I mean, it can't get into God. This was a fun list. I'll have a poll up in the Take 3 page with the options for next week. But Garth, where can people find you online?
Basically, look for me, Garth McMurray, on Facebook and Twitter, and Garth_McMurray on Instagram. See a lot of my comics art there. And I'm on various shows like this, movie trivia, feature presentations. And tomorrow night I'm doing a special show with Video Drew, so check out our YouTube channel.
Brian, where can people find you online?
If they don't know by now, I don't know why they're not watching this. I'm everywhere. I'm playing trivia myself and teams of Wild Stallions in different leagues. I pop up on different shows everywhere, preaching against the evils of Clue. But yeah, just wherever you're, like, you can't avoid me. Sorry.
Peggy, I think you're frozen, but where can people find you online? I don't.
Well, can you still hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
All right, well, that's the important thing. Nobody really needs to see me. You can find me participating in the fan leagues wherever they let me participate, and you can catch me every Wednesday co-hosting Fantasy Film Fights on Feast of Presentation. This week, we are drafting movie characters to build a boy band. Fun fact, Christina in the chat, she's going to be one of the panelists. It's going to be a great episode. Tune in if you can.
That's
Edward, where can people find you online?
I same like everyone else. I play in the fan leagues as well. Recently, I've been playing a lot in IG movies. People can also check out my letterbox, Valentine316. I'm very slow on it, but once I do post something, I post it, because right now I'm doing an entire watch long of all Harry Potter movies. So I'm going to post a rankum list of those. And yeah, when any other time I'm on something like Rankum, or if I'm ever invited back onto Fantasy Film Fights, you'll see me there.
And you can find me on last week's Fantasy Film Fights when we draft movie siblings. And also, you can find me all over the fan leagues. I run Formidable Classic and Formidable Random over on the Formidable channel. Formidable Classic is on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. This week's Formidable Random is Directors. And you can find me on Take 3 Productions hosting Late Night Take 3. I'm not too sure what the topic will be for next week. I'm leaning towards Dungeons and Dragons, but I haven't quite confirmed that. But and I'll have the poll up for next week's Rankum. I can't remember what the options are, so I can't say. But yeah. And until next time. Keep listening.